Subscribe and click the bell icon for the latest updates and notifications from the Indian Express.
BMW Motorrad launched the F750 GS and the 850 GS in India last year, and in a way this motorcycle is an entry-level ADV. Now I know it isn't really, but it aims to prepare you to be able to handle bigger, fully grown adventure tourers like the 850 GS and 1250 even. The F750 GS and the 850 GS are both powered by the same engine. There are no mechanical changes whatsoever, but the 850cc 750 GS is the milder version with power that is electronically restricted. However, the equipment on board is just as much. The F750 GS is targeted at younger riders who are just graduating to big adventure motorcycles with 77 brake horsepower in comparison to F850's 95 bhp. But it looks and feels proper. The design has every bit of the GS DNA with a slim tail and a chunky fuel tank and a pointy nose up front. Well, the power delivery is pretty darn good. Well, it is an 853cc parallel twin, but I cannot help think of it as a wheat twin. Well, there are two about 425cc inline cylinders, so the sound that it makes, the power delivery on the throttle, how it responds, feels a bit like a V. And this could be a good thing or a bad thing considering if you like V's. The sound that it makes. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of it, but then this is a stock exhaust and BMW do have the option of a slip-on Akrapovic. To make it sound better, it is over 2 kilograms lighter and it makes it more torquey as well. The F750 GS is properly quick and it is capable of top speeds of about 190 kilometers an hour. It is rather agile too. The other GS I rode some days back was the Baby GS, and I'm very glad that the suspension on this one is nothing like it. Not too soft and not too tough either. Standing on the foot pegs, the ride dynamics are well suited to take on undulations on the road, off the road, and the feedback to your arms and shoulders is not too rough. I happen to ride a quarter-litre sports motorcycle every day, and surprisingly, the F750 delivered almost as much ease while filtering through traffic. It is a very comfortable place to be on. I mean, the seat is huge, you can almost serve breakfast on it, and at some point you might. You must. You buy a bike like this, it's very likely you will take it long-distance touring. The seat height can be lowered to 770 mm, which means you don't have to be a giant in order to handle this bike well. However, if you are, it can also be raised to 830 mm. Now, before we sum it up, let's talk about the electronic gadgets on board, which there are a lot many. It gets rain and road riding modes as standard, and there's also the optional Pro package with dynamic and enduro to make it more off-road friendly. Lights are all LED and an optional quick shifter is also available. The TFT screen is superbly informative. There's also smartphone connectivity, so navigations, calls and music can be managed easily. BMW Motorrad has an elaborate list of accessories: panniers, center stand, electronic suspension adjustment, enduro footrests, large windscreen and a lot more. One very important accessory though is the engine guard, which is not available stock. Adventure touring motorcycles are expected to do good off the road. However, realistically speaking, it will be spending most of its life on the road. And in that department, the F750 GS has it quite covered. It is a fun to ride bike, you can corner this and have fun while doing it. The gear shifts are sublime, the power delivery is swift. However, if you're planning to go full ballistic with off-roading, you might want to go for the F850 GS with its 95 brake horsepower, more torque and equipment that is more supportive for off-roading. If you do have the money for the F850 GS but you're new to adventure riding, the F750 GS is the option for you. It looks and feels like a properly fully grown adventure motorcycle. It will teach you a lot, prepare you. Well, your next motorcycle could be a 1250 GS.